It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. Like the Let's Play. Away we go!
Hey, it's Knight. Welcome back to another video. I want to have an open discussion about child characters, small characters. Look, I want to address the fact that it is very weird that these characters exist and that these companies push characters that are small like this to whatever crowd is asking for them, because I certainly am not. I want to play these games and they're already looked at as being strange by people around me. But the fact that there's also kid characters being sold to a demographic of gamers, a primary demographic of gamers that it goes beyond the age of 30, by the way, it just feels a bit weird. Obviously, there are people that think they're cute in a non-sexualized way, but there are also people that are very strange that gravitate towards small characters, and I think it's an issue that's not very covered. I mean, look at this character, right? This is Nikkei's new drip marketing for Tetra, right? Like, this is just, who wants this? Who's asking for this, you know? And you scroll down and you see this, and I had to just cut my video because if you scroll down a little bit further, there's just some weird shit underneath that where they're showing what the person's asking for. But it's just like, who asked for this? Who wants a character like this? You know? And it's a bad sentiment or a bad precedence that the game company is willing to pander to a crowd or an audience that is, you know, pedophilic or philia bound or centric. I can't even say the word because I'll probably get canceled on YouTube or my video will be pushed down. But, you know, this type of stuff is just not good in this community. And this is the type of stuff that really keeps people away from it and really destroys the broad appeal or broad reach that these games could have, because, you know, we're reaching a level where gacha games are AAA status and they're able to have the broad appeal to reach a huge demographic of players. But then we have pandering to, you know, the worst kind of people in society, and I just don't know why we stand for it. It's crazy to me. You know, it's almost like a don't ask, don't tell type of thing. Now, at the very least, I'm glad that there are few characters that are small and we don't have to deal with it all the time. And at the very least, a lot of them are not meta-centric. In Genshin, we had Nahida, who was obviously very prevalent in the high end of the game, and it was kind of a must-pull at the time of her release, which was very frustrating for me because I don't like Nahida. I don't want a baby on my account, but I would suffer greatly to not have her at the time. And then we have a new character like Yansan, who is pretty small as a child, and she's pretty meta-defining now also. And then, of course, Tribi is also a baby, and she just so happened to be really good too, which is very frustrating for me. And obviously in Star Rail, if you don't have the most prevalent support character, you're going to be at a huge disadvantage with your account. So it's very sad to see that, you know, these child characters are starting to be pushed more. Now, I will say, though, at the very least, Hoyo does not sexualize or overtly sexualize these characters, which is good. But why put them in the game? Why even leave room for people that are creeps to get into the game and play with these characters and interact with them? And, you know, I guess maybe my viewpoint is a little bit twisted because they don't have to be sexualized. They could just exist to just be cute little characters, but the statistics are there. The primary audience of appeal for gaming and for gacha games has been males, and you're in a market where characters that are over sexualized sell a ton of money, and there are characters that are somewhat sexualized in Hoyo games, especially ZZZ, so they are very aware of their audience and what the audience likes, and they know when to release that bait where people will buy money. When they need money, they release the booba character, right? They know that works because they know their audience. So why mix childlike characters inside of this game? You know, and it's not all Hoyo's fault because anime itself is interweaved with this weirdness as well, but it's just an undercovered issue that I really wanted to express my disdain for. I am not a fan of it. I am having a child myself, and just the idea of having this involved is just weird to me. And I'm a grown man now. I guess that's probably the issue. And, you know, maybe I'm wrong in all of this. Maybe it doesn't have to be this deep, but I just would like to not have to think that they're pandering to files. And, you know, I want my hobby to be separated from this strangeness, but unfortunately, I guess that's just not going to be how it goes. I mean, I hope that their child characters underperform, and I feel like they relatively do, or for the most part they do, especially compared to the big booba waifus. But I don't know, man. I just don't want to stand for the weirdness anymore. I want to be a voice of reason, and that's my whole goal for this channel. Look, gacha games are just mobile games, but they have the potential to be so much more, and we could really be the voice of change, man. We really could. Like, we are the audience giving them money, and we could really see this industry go the way we want it to go, like the way we want to see it be, a more fair approach to monetization towards players, a less strange environment with childlike characters. You know, people are so quick to shit on anybody that sexualizes a character or like is enjoying the sexualization of a character on Twitter or on social networks, but yet these childlike characters don't get a lot of pushback or negativity around them. So I feel like we're just fighting the wrong fights here. Like, God forbid an adult looking character is sexualized, a fictional character. Like, it has no fucking bearing on the real world. Get a grip. Also, I get the child characters don't have a bearing on the real world either, but it's one thing to appeal to an adult in a legal fashion of sexualization where it is completely normal for an adult male to fantasize over an adult female, whereas it's completely bad to play into the fantasies of something very strange that is illegal. So that's the contrast between the two. I hope I'm not the only one that feels this way. I know that I'll probably get pushback for this, which is crazy to me. And I am very aware that it doesn't have to be an issue if you don't make it an issue, but I'd rather not tiptoe around the subject. I feel like it's better to just address the issue and push a narrative against it, you know? But regardless, it's been night. Let me know what you guys think about these characters. Do you have an issue with them? Do you not? I'll see you guys on the next one, though. Peace.